pool, home loan pool generally are considered the most safest. We have a 250 crore pool for 80 crore. Our worst case IRR in this would be 25%. If things go as planned, we will make a 35% IRR in these transactions. But anyway, let me not keep it too micro. I'll keep it more of a macro level. Now, what are the common misnomers about special credit funds? First of all, if it's high yield, it must be inherently high risk strategy. किसी से मैं बात करता हूँ when I meet investors, family offices, first question is यार इतना high yield है आपको बहुत risky काम कर रहे हैं. There is an inherent high risk in the strategy. Number one. Number two. Special sits in general, people think these are distressed companies, these are turnaround situations, something wrong with the company. That's a general misnomer that people have. And I'll sort of try and correct some of those as we go on. Number three, in a bad case scenario, I will lose my share. Principal capital erosion ho jayega basically. That's a common misnomer. And again, I'll tell you how we think about it. Number four, in general, special sits, and a lot of people, including I will not name one of my friends here who's sitting. इसके भाई special sits का कुछ तो exotic है, complicated है, अभी हमको नहीं करना है. I want to stick to most plain vanilla stuff. Last and most important, whenever I meet family offices, and I've met now more than 500 family offices across India in the last 3-4 years. Common phenomena, common comment is that equity book में पूरा risk लेंगे, जो भी risk लेना, I will take in my equity book. Debt में I want to keep it very, very plain vanilla. I want to take more like AAA, AA kind of bonds and then sleep peacefully. So that's something I hear very, very often. Now, again, the way I started the presentation, special sits credit. We have been consistently delivering 23 to 24% IRR. If it is such good IRR, which means almost equity-like returns, how safe is it? So, in my fund currently, and again, this is not a fund level discussion, so don't get me wrong, but I'm just using it more like an example. Right now, we have a 2,300 crore fund. We've done 20 deals. So it's quite a representative. It's a good portfolio to talk about. But what are the debt like? Generally, debt होता है. Debt क्या होता है? Basically, debt में security होता है number one. Number two, debt में regular cash flow होता है. तुम जिसको debt देते हो counterparty, that has to be a solid counterparty. And if you look at a debt portfolio, it has to be granular. It has to be diversified. You can't be only lending to one sector, say real estate, for example. It has to be a granular portfolio. So this category, and I'm talking more of the category. Our funds generally have minimum 2.5 to 3x real asset cover, hard asset collateral. Now I understand India में common question always will be how we recover IBC, the whole recovery process in India, etc. So we think through all of that in our community. But each and every deal we have 2.5 to 3x cover and real asset cover. Number one, which is I think number one category. Number one criteria of how you will qualify something as a debt. These are fixed return deals. We are currently collecting 18% annual cash coupon on the portfolio, 4.5% quarterly cash coupon. We collect it quarter on quarter from our counterparty. So these are fixed return, contractual return transactions. Number three, most important, again going back to what I told as a misnomer. We don't do any turnaround situations. We are not lending money to stressed or distressed companies. There is absolutely zero asset level stress in the deals that we do. Number four, granularity, diversification, very, very important in all portfolios, but especially in this portfolio. No matter how good the deal is, no matter how good the security is, we don't go beyond 5% single deal exposure. So on an average, one deal doesn't exceed 5% of my portfolio. Again, there is a math to it. Again, I don't want to bore too much, but the math broadly is, एक भी deal मेरा खराब गया, I will not lose more than 50 to 60 bips on the portfolio IRR. For example, if my single deal exposure is 5%, typically with the kind of asset covers we take, we will not lose more than 20% in a bad case situation. If I lose 20% on one deal, 5% into 20% is 1%. Day one pay, obviously, unless it's a fraud, day one pay, no companies default, right? We generally collect coupon every month from our counterparties. So if my deal lasts for 1.5 years, then it goes back. If I divide it by 1.5 years, it's 60 basis points. So one deal going back has 60 bips impact on my portfolio. Which means one deal going back, my 23-24% gross return will become 22.4% return. It's not like I'm going to lose my fund capital or there will be a significant impact on the fund IRR. Again, on this point, just this point alone, going back, I can say very logically and confidently, in this category, if everything goes bad for me, if shit hits the roof, I lose principal in say 4 to 5 transactions. And someone in this category, if they do everything right, everything goes as per the book, everything goes just perfect. My worst case will always deliver a 400 bips extra pricing than someone in this category. And I'm sure most of you guys are exposed to this category. You would have already invested in one of these funds or someone would have pitched these funds. So my worst case, absolute worst case, will deliver a 400 bips extra pricing as compared to this category.